Senator Reynolds.
Thank you very much, President. Colleagues, service to our nation and our communities comes in many, many different coloured uniforms. But no matter the colour of the uniform, the mental health pressures and the welfare issues are the same. But sadly, however, the support they receive is still largely dependent on the colour of the uniform that they wear. In the face of increasing national disasters, 370,000 first responders selflessly stand on the front lines, safeguarding the lives and the properties of so many Australians. They face exhaustion, they face trauma, and given the highly dangerous nature of their work, their unwavering dedication to serve our communities takes a significant personal toll on so many of them, leading to alarming rates of psychological distress, mental health diagnoses and thoughts of suicide, and tragically all too often to suicide. But it's not just those who serve our communities, it's their families as well who bear the weight of what's called spillover stress. Those who protect our communities and their families should not suffer for their service to us all. The mental health and well-being of our nation's first responders and also law enforcement is an issue that I have been incredibly passionate about since I was the Emergency Management Minister. And it was then I came to realise that as a nation, federal and states and territories, we need to do much more. But it is a complete disgrace today that only 1 in 5 responders receive adequate care, which can result in prolonged and unnecessary psychological distress, mental health concerns and, as I've said, far more drastic actions. But it's also, as I've said, the families of first responders who, much like defence families, make tremendous sacrifices for the community support of their loved ones. I was heartened to learn that the RSL has opened its memberships to first responders, offering access to hundreds of clubs around Australia where they can seek mateship, get updates on community events and also just have someone there that they can talk to who will understand. I also want to now turn to an organisation called Fortum Australia, which is an all-too-rare organisation that supports our emergency services personnel. Fortum's been instrumental in providing effective care to over 15,000 so far, delivering over 6,100 clinical psychology sessions and also 37,000 wellbeing activities. And they're projected to assist an additional 11,000 first responder families in the next 12 months, and the need is great, but unfortunately there are still far too services available. Now, in relation to Fortum, the $10 million commitment for Fortum by the former coalition government, which was reaffirmed by the Prime Minister in November last year, was intended to provide bridging support so that Fortum could keep their doors open until a competitive tender process, which was due to be opened earlier this year by the Albanese government. But like so many other things they have not done and not done well, the tender process is yet nowhere to be seen. And 2 days ago I wrote to Minister Watt with the support of 2 of our wonderful senators, Senator Davey and Senator Lambie, who both share my passion to provide much better service to our first responders. And I was very happy, and in fact the 3 of us were very happy to learn that the government responded within hours of receiving our letter and provided an extra $1.3 million to extend the funding, which will allow them to keep their doors open over the main natural disaster periods, December, January, February, in fact through to June 2024. But while this is welcome, it is still a very short-term solution, leaving them and all of their wonderful support staff in a very precarious and uncertain position. But it also, by not having that tender process and expanding it, it also leaves our nation with inadequate supports for all of our first responders nationally. So can I call on the Albanese government to initiate the competitive tender process as soon as possible so that there can be certainty into next year and well beyond in the service provision for those who need it the most. We owe them a lot, and this is the least this government should be able to do.
Thank you, Senator Reynolds. Senator Rice.